So I'm grateful to IIT for giving me an opportunity to present various activities of Department of Biotechnology, which is commonly known as DBT now. In fact, those who attended, those who attended college during 80s, they might not have thought that a department of biotechnology or biological sciences will be established in each and every medical schools and engineering colleges. Today, due to help of the Department of Biotechnology, the biotechnology has pan-India presence, and whether it is medical schools or engineering colleges or IITs, you can see that the Department of Biotechnology or Biological Sciences are actively participating an integral part of those institutions. DBT is youngest departments of Government of India. Basically, that keeping in view of the biological sciences activity globally, deliberations to establish the department was started long back in 1982. And on the recommendation of Scientific Advisory Committee of Cabinet, National Biotechnology Board, that is known as NBTB, was constituted in the Department of Science and Technology. NBTB was part of Department of Science and Technology for 4 years, and in 1986, the Department of Biotechnology was separated from DST and established as a separate department. You will be surprised to know that the Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology is among the first department in the whole world, even among the developed world, where the government has established a separate department for biotechnology. So this decision has made India one of the first countries to have separate stream of science and technology. During last 34 years, India has become one of the major hubs of biotechnology, and though there were a large number of challenges initially, and those challenges were initially because that overlapping areas of various science departments. So because Department of Biotechnology is now working on various aspects of plant biotechnology, agriculture biotechnology, engineering aspects. So these aspects already dedicated departments are already there. So a lot of interdepartmental conflicts was there, and no science departments were initially willing to pass of its responsibilities to the DBT as well as specialized structure. At that time, the quality of publications were not very good. Most of the publication in India were being published in national journals only due to various reasons. Very few publications were in highly impact factor journals were being published. There was lack of interest among the industry to join R&D, particularly in case of biological sciences. We were not having quality human resource in biotechnology, and even basic infrastructure like quality equipments and chemicals, etc., for doing biotechnology work were not available in the country. Moreover, there was no regulatory framework for conducting biotechnological research in the country, and infrastructure was completely lacking. So how Department of Biotechnology initiated programs in the country? The first thing what DBT did is to develop quality human resource in the country. So two types of quality human resource were developed in the country. One is through postgraduate teaching program, where DBT initiated postgraduate teaching in 6 universities, the prestigious universities of India, and simultaneously started developing faculty through overseas program as well as a national program for faculty development. So with these two programs, human resource development started in the country. Today, the postgraduate teaching program is being conducted in 65 universities at present, 16 master courses. At that time, it started from two courses. One was in general biotechnology and another was veterinary biotechnology. Today, we have 16 master courses in biotechnology being conducted in 65 universities, and 72 courses are being conducted throughout the country. As I told you earlier, that faculty improvement program was started by sending faculty scientists to over best laboratory in the world and getting them trained for 1 year and up to maximum up to 2 years and bringing them back in the faculty again. When this postgraduate program was started, it went very well, but later on it was found that there is lack of infrastructure as well as expertise in undergraduate program, due to which the different type of postgraduate students are coming in this postgraduate teaching program. So in 2008, our late faculty Dr. Bhan started Star College program in the country, and basically this program was to support undergraduate colleges, undergraduate education, to improve science teaching, as well as to improve the infrastructure in the undergraduate classes, as well as to improve knowledge and skills of teachers in basic sciences and specialized techniques. With this program, a lot of infrastructure was developed, and this infrastructure and these equipment, these chemicals, etc., were accessible to students. Then with this, a good number of students, a quality students, started coming in postgraduate teaching programs. A skill development program was initiated by the Department of Biotechnology in 2018 as a part of Government of India plan for skill development in 2015. With this program, the department is providing high quality hands-on training to the students in multidisciplinary areas, particularly at entry level of 10+2 or graduate levels. So 4 categories of skill training are being provided. One, to the students who are completing their 10+2 or graduation. Second is technician training program. Third is faculty training program, and fourth is entrepreneurship training program. So with these training programs, there is a large number of students as well as entrepreneurs are students are getting jobs, as well as entrepreneurs are starting their startup in various areas of biotechnology. In this skill development program, 15 certificate courses have been initiated for enhancing job opportunity and business opportunity in the country. Under Human Resource Development Program, another scheme has been initiated recently, that is Biotech Finishing School Program. This program has been initiated jointly with Government of Karnataka, and 18 institutions of Karnataka government are giving this training, Biotech Finishing School in life sciences. With this scheme, that industry are getting students who are ready to take job in the industry directly. The government of Karnataka is giving them 10,000 rupees per month scholarship for 6 months, and most of the students are getting jobs directly in the biotech industry. A large number of training programs have been initiated by the Department of Biotechnology in different areas to the students as well as to the faculty as entrepreneurs. Short-term training programs have been initiated for the mid-career scientists. This short-term training for 2 to 4 weeks, and hands-on training is being provided. Each training program provides training to 15 to 20 scientists in highly specialized area. BITP, that is Biotechnology Industrial Training Program. It was initiated by the department in 2000 and basically to provide practical training to fresh graduate or masters in biotechnology for 6 months. They are placed with the industry. The students are getting 10,000 and industry is getting 50,000 rupees as candidates have been trained in this BITP program, and then placement where they are getting training, the percent placement they are getting in that particular industry itself. DBT has also providing entrepreneurship development program in biotechnology entrepreneurship. Besides that, Department of Biotechnology has also initiated diploma courses for 1 year, particularly in a specialized area like plant genetic engineering diploma by Madurai Kamaraj University. University is giving molecular diagnostic diploma, and Legal Muslim University is giving plant tissue culture. So fellowship program, this is actually one of the major program of Department of Biotechnology, basically to encourage brilliant mind and to encourage them to pursue career in biological research. For that, various fellowships program have been initiated by the Department of Biotechnology. First fellowship program initiated by the department is DBT Junior Research Fellowship, which was initiated in 2004. Initially, it was conducted by Pune University, but now NCS is conducting this entrance examination. Here, almost 375 candidates are being selected. Out of 275 gets DBT fellowship directly. They can even choose their place of this PhD program, institution of PhD program, and category 2, where a qualified candidate can opt for DBT project, and they can also DBT Research Associateship program. This is being conducted by Institute of Science, and almost 100 fellowships are being provided per year. Basically, this fellowship is being given to postdoctoral students initially for 2 years, so that they can find a permanent job, and if not, then it is extendable for another 2 years. Ramalinga Swami Fellowship, this program has been initiated in 2006, basically to bring back Indian scientists who are working abroad. There are so many Indian scientists who are interested to come back, but due to lack of opportunities, lack of permanent positions in India, they continue to live in outside India. So DBT has initiated this Ramalinga Swami Fellowship program to bring them back and work in Indian positions. Almost 100 positions per year are being provided under the Swami Fellowship program, and they can choose the place of fellowship as per their choice, as per their expertise, and most of the fellows, they are being absorbed in those institutions within this fellowship time. The fellowship is very good, that is almost equal or better than assistant professorship of University Grant Commission. So large number of scientists has come back with this fellowship program. The department has also initiated Bioinformatics National Application Program. This was initiated in 2005, basically to pursue PhD in bioinformatics. This area was lagging behind at that time, so that's why Bioinformatics National Certification Program was initiated. DBT, in collaboration with Wellcome Trust India, has initiated high quality, internationally competent biomedical research fellowship program, and 3 types of fellowship are being given in this DBT Wellcome Trust India Alliance. One is early, second is intermediate, and third is senior. So almost 45 are being awarded every year, and particularly in clinical as well as interdisciplinary and clinical research areas. Wellcome Trust India Alliance also supports science communication and public engagement projects. And there are two types of uh, support is being provided by Wellcome Trust India. One is Explorer Series to inspire young students, that is below 12th class, and Indian Media Fellowship to strengthen general and public understanding issues related to science and environment. Besides that, DBT has some other specific area fellowship like DBT Energy by Science Overseas Fellowship. 10 fellowships are being given every year, where the students goes for PhD outside India. Newton Bhava PhD placement program. This is being done in collaboration with British Council, and Indian researchers for a short duration for 3 months, they can go and do work in any laboratory of UK. Besides that, DBT Third World Academy Science Fellowship Program. Basically, this is for the foreign students who wants to do their masters as well PhD and postdoc in India, and 25 fellowships are being given under this fellowship program. So DBT also encourage scientists, researchers for doing outstanding work, outstanding science, and for that a large number of awards have been established. And first among them, which was established, was Biotech Product Process Development and Commercialization Award. 5 awards are given each year, and basically this award is conferred to scientists or innovators or even entrepreneurs or companies, both in public as well as in private sector, towards development of and commercialization of biotech product, process or technology in different sectors of biotechnology. As I told you, 5 are given every year. Rupees 2 lakh only for award, and if any product is commercialized, then award is enhanced to rupees 5 lakhs. Next is National Women Bioscience Award. Recently, the name of this award has been changed to Janaki Ammal National Bioscience Award. And this award is given exclusively to the women to recognize their outstanding research contribution in basic as well as in applied science in the area of biosciences and biotechnology. Every year, one senior award which carries rupees 5 lakhs and a medal is being provided, and 5 awards to junior scientists carrying 1 lakh rupees per month, or 1 lakh rupees is awarded. National Bioscience Award for Career Development, total 15 lakhs. For doing research of their, whatever they are doing, they can continue to work in that. And DBT is providing 5 lakh rupees contingency grant. That ready. DBT Biology Scholarship Award for encouraging students to pursue biology subject after 10+2, and each award carries rupees 20,000. Only those students who continue to choose their career path in biology or biology related subject after 12th, they are getting this award, and DBT is providing this award to 100 students. IYBA, this is a very common award for youngsters, young scientists who are below 35 years age, and basically this award is given to nurture outstanding young scientists who have done outstanding work, outstanding publication, and the award carries rupees 1 lakh per year for 3 years, and contingency grant of again rupees 5 lakhs per year for 3 years. So this award is also very good award for young faculty to join, and those who have very good publication, outstanding publication, or outstanding technology they have, if they have developed, so they can apply for this award. Besides that, DBT has also established Distinguished Biotechnologist award fellowship to superannuated scientists. So those scientists who have done outstanding work in their career and superannuated, they can apply for this award. At a time, 10 distinguished biotechnologist fellowships are available in DBT, and so that their expertise, scientific acumen can be utilized properly. So this award has been given to the renowned biotechnologists. Next is Biotechnology Entrepreneurship Student Teams Award, and most of the entrepreneurship is always gone to actually the IIT's students, whether it is IIT Chennai or IIT Delhi. Most of the time they take this award, and basically this award to encourage entrepreneurship among the BTech students. They can take a project and then they can submit this project, and then Department of Biotechnology supports 15 lakh rupees. And see, Tata Innovation Fellowship. This award is given to promote innovation to the scientists below the age of 55 years, those who have done outstanding work in the area, and those who have suggested effective solution to major problems and major challenges in biology or biotechnology. The emphasis of the scheme is to recognize and reward scientists with outstanding track record in biological sciences and biotechnology, and commitment to find innovative solutions in different areas. The award carries 25,000 rupees per month for 3 years, extendable to 5 years, and contingency grant of rupees 15 lakhs per year. And they can use this contingency grant for any purpose, whether it is purchase of chemicals, purchase of any small equipment, attending some seminar, symposia outside country, or some training program, whatever they want, they can use this contingency grant for that purpose. The Department of Biotechnology also supports popularization of biotechnology. DBT has a scheme which is known as CTEP, that is conferences, travel, exhibition, and popularization. The CTEP program is meant for popularization of science. Department provides travel support to the researchers attending conferences, national or international conferences. DBT also supports organizers for organizing national and international seminars, popular lectures series, publication of books in the area of biotechnology, publication of biotech research journals, celebration of National Science Day, participation on SNT exhibition, and visiting scientists from abroad program up to 3 months. So CTP is a very popular program, particularly among the young researchers, those who are doing PhD and those whose publication or whose papers accepted outside country. So DBT is providing them travel as well as registration charges in that conference. The department has also established large number of biotech facilities, tech platforms, research resources, and the provision is there for establishing more and more this type of biotech facilities. Then among these facilities, Center of Excellence is very common. And the computing facilities at IIT Delhi, structural biology at Bose Institute, genome analysis and development of novel algorithms at ISC, etc. So large number of COEs have been provided based on the expertise of that particular institute. Another basic platform or research resources supported by DBT are in the form of long-term R&D projects. So normally DBT provides support for 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, maximum for 5 years. But there are some problems which cannot be solved within 3 to 5 years, like in agriculture sciences or animal sciences. So supports long-term R&D projects to get conclusive results or technology from that particular area. Builder program. This is a very means the prestigious program that Builder. The full form of Builder is Boost to University Interdisciplinary Life Sciences Department for Excellence in Research, and this program is given mainly to interdisciplinary work, where various departments come together and then submit proposals to DBT for this Builder program. Department of Biotechnology did Builder program to some of the universities like University of Hyderabad, and in some of other institutions also Builder program has been initiated. Biotechnology Science Cluster. These clusters have been initiated to drive high quality innovation and entrepreneurship in a region. At present, there are 4 biotech science clusters have been established around the institution, DBT institution, like in Faridabad, where RCB is there, TRPBB is there. We have Bangalore cluster, where it's STEM and some other institutions are clubbed together, basically share the infrastructure also. We have Pune cluster around NCCS, and Kalyani cluster around IBST. DBT also support technology platform programs as a service provider, like in sequencing, proteomics, animal house, etc. DBT has supported a big genome sequencing program in NIPG now, and this type of facility provide facility to other institutions also. So research and development, this is the major program of the department supporting R&D projects on various aspects of biotechnology is a major mandate of Department of Biotechnology. Competitive research proposals can be submitted in the department anytime, and now that online submission system, which is known as e-promise, and department also encourages submission of scientific lead based translational program in the area of relevant with the relevant stakeholders. So as far as research proposal is concerned, recently, earlier we were having task forces. Now the department has changed the system of evaluation. Any project which is coming to DBT is being first of all scrutinized by internal screening committee, and if it is recommended by the internal screening committee, then it will go to tech. Here you can see the flow chart of a proposal. Once proposal is submitted to ISC, it will be reviewed in the ISC. It will go to the peer review and external peer review also. Normally, we used to send to 5 experts of the concern area, and based on the recommendations of peers, project is presented in that is technical expert committee. This technical expert committee comprises of the experts of that particular area. DBT has almost 17 to 18 tech committees in that particular area, like animal biotechnology we have, aquaculture and we have another one, agriculture we have. So there are in medical we have 8-9 tech committees. In tech committees now we are not asking PI to come for the presentation. The project is being reviewed based on the presentation of the program officer as well as comments of the peers. And if project is costing now less than rupees 40 lakhs, it will be recommended for financial support. And if the cost of the project is more than lakhs, it will be submitted to STAG. And here we have 4 stacks in DBT. We have large number of tech, around 17-18 techs, and 4 stacks. Like in agriculture, we have one stack in agriculture, which covers agriculture, plant biotechnology, animal biotechnology, and aquaculture biotechnology. So in the stack, we invite PI to come for the presentation, and based on the recommendation of tech peer review, the stack takes a decision. And if the cost of the project is less than 5 crore and project is recommended by the STAG, it will be recommended for the financial support and it will go for the financial conference. However, if a project is costing more than 5 crores, then this project will go to Biotech Apex Board, and then in the Biotech Apex Board, the project is again presented by the investigators, and comments of STAG as well as tech as well as peer review comments will be considered for the consideration of this particular project. And if it is recommended by the Biotech Apex Board, then it will go for the financial concurrence. So now, earlier we had 3-tier system of evaluation. Now we have 5-tier evaluation of the system, and this accordingly this project review of the progress of these projects will be reviewed by the consent committee. If it is less than 5 crore, it will be reviewed, progress will be reviewed by tech, and if it is more than 5 crore, then it will reviewed, progress will be reviewed in the Apex Board. So here I would like to show you that we have Biotech Apex Board. Under this Biotech Apex Board, we have 4 stacks. One stack is medical biotechnology, second agriculture and related area, third knowledge generation and discovery research, and fourth one is energy bioscience, environment and bioresource board. And these red colors, these are the different tech in the country, and we have 8 tech in medical biotechnology, 3 techs in agriculture biotechnology, and in knowledge generation and discovery we have 4 tech, and stack and energy, environment and bioresource we have 5 tech. So these are the details of various technical expert committee. We have large number of technical expert committee. I will not go through it because I have already told you about all these technical expert committee. Now, besides R&D programs, the Department of Biotechnology also support Biotech program for societal development. There are three programs comes under Biotechnology Societal Development Program. This program aims to create platform for self-employment generation among targeted population of SC, ST, or women community. And basically, the program is aimed for the transfer of technology demonstration, training, and extension activities. The broad focused area supported under this Biotech program for societal development are agriculture, horticulture, fish farming, goat farming, mushroom cultivation, nutrition, floriculture, child health, etc. So basically, these programs are an extension of R&D programs wherever technology is being developed. So we are trying to transfer those technologies in the societal development program. Bioprocess and product development. This program is linked between engineering and biological sciences to find out efficient solutions in the development and improvement of bioprocesses. Public health, food, nutrition, and nutrition biology. The department continued its efforts to promote research towards public health and nutrition, addressing various disorders, dietary estimation, food security programs in the underprivileged section. Biosafety research, this also comes under this program, but I will discuss it later on. The department is also promoting entrepreneurship and industrial growth, and for that, three major programs have been initiated. One is Startup India, second is Make in India, and third is Biodesign program. In the Startup India, basically an ecosystem is being developed for nurturing innovators in the country, and more than 45 incubators have been set up in different parts of the country. Make in India, basically to transform India into innovation and manufacturing hub, department is support this type of activities. Biodesign program has been developed with International Biodesign, School of International Biodesign, and this is being collaborated with AIMS, IIT New Delhi, along with international partners from Australia and Japan, basically to train the next generation of medical biotechnology innovators in India for developing affordable medical devices. Under this program, large number of diagnostics have been developed by AIMS as well as IIT New Delhi. Healthcare technology innovations has been established at IIT Chennai to evolve a major medical tech innovation ecosystem in the country for unmet health care and clinical needs. The department has also initiated Bioengineering and Biodesign initiative at ISC, Bangalore. Biosafety issues. This program aims at implementation of the Rule 1989 of Environmental Protection Act for the manufacture, use, import, storage of hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organisms or cell or products developed through R&D. The Rules 1989 delegated the DBT to administer functioning of IBSCs, Institutional Biosafety Committees, which operates directly by concerned institution itself, and to ensure on-site assessment and monitoring adherence to the biosafety guidelines and regulatory process at institutional level itself. Department of Biotechnology has launched a web portal of this Indian Biosafety Knowledge Portal for regulatory guidelines. Are available in this IBKP portal. This provides new scientific information on biotechnology, online submission of applications and their tracking. IBKP also provides India's biosafety regulatory information not only to scientific community but also to the entrepreneurs. The process of import or export and exchange of materials has been simplified in consultation with the stakeholders. Revised simplified guidelines have also been issued, and timelines of approval process has been reduced tremendously. As far as IBCs are concerned, in India, we have almost 700 IBSCs. All institutions, universities who are working on biological sciences related to where safety is required, they should have their IBSCs, and they report to RCGM, that is on genetic manipulation. This RCGM is also a part of Department of Biotechnology, and it monitors review all ongoing projects involving high risk category and confined experiments or field trials to ensure compliance of biosafety rules and regulation and safety guidelines. So every year, Department of Biotechnology gets around 1,000 applications for RCGM clearance. Now, earlier the RCGM, we were conducting meeting of RCGM every 45 days. But for the last 2 years, we reduced this timeline, and we brought it to 30 days and then 21 days. And now the RCGM meetings are being conducted in every 15 days. So I'm happy to say that I was handling this RCGM during my last days, heading this RCGM regulatory program also during my last days in the Department of Biotechnology, and we could reduce the time gap considerably. I would also like to inform you that Department of Biotechnology released guidelines for handling COVID-19 virus within 4 days. So we were among the first people who actually activated ourselves and released the guidelines for handling this COVID-19, and that's how that research on COVID-19 was started in the country. GEAC, that is Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, this comes under Ministry of Environment and Forest. The GEAC basically is an apex biotech regulatory body in India, and it is a statutory body which is responsible for appraisal of activities that involve in large scale use of hazardous microbes, recombinants in research and industrial production from the point of view of the environment. So DBT is a member of GEAC, and GEAC also assess the proposals regarding the release of genetically engineered products or organisms into the environment. This includes experimental field trials as well. So GEAC plays very important role in biosafety issues, but this comes under Ministry of Environment. The Department of Biotechnology has only RCGM and IBSC, and RCGM always report to GEAC for all its activities. Biotechnology Information System Network. So DBT has a major focus on bioinformatics for more than 3 decades, which has laid foundation of development of new knowledge and discovery research. This program has played a key role in the development of bioinformatics in the country, and at present more than 160 centers have been created for BIS. We have developed a large good quality human resource in this BIS program, and new tools in research, developing database, conducting research in bioinformatics and computational biology were also developed. The department is also supporting PhD, master's and diploma courses in bioinformatics, and created 6 centers of excellence during this period. Biotech parks and incubators. Basically, the department with various state governments has established biotech parks to translate research products by providing necessary infrastructure. And at present, although I have written here 6 biotech parks, but at present only 4 biotech parks are functional and housing large number of incubators. Similarly, there are few biotech parks and biotech incubators in that planning stage, like Mohali, Kerala and Bhubaneswar. They are under consideration at this stage. International collaboration has been one of the major important program of the Department of Biotechnology, and DBT has developed a strategic partnership with well-known international institutes and countries to help academicians, students to become more competitive and to provide technological and engineering solutions for various problems. So initially, DBT was interested to have collaborative programs with developed countries like US, UK, and EU, etc. But now that completely changed. Now all these developed countries are keen to have collaborative programs with India. So now that they understand our strength, our competency, and that's why all developed countries, whether it is Netherlands, whether it is Denmark, US, Norway, they are keen to have Germany, they are keen to have collaborative program, and large number of collaborative call proposal are being issued by the DBT from time to time. So at present, almost I think we are collaborating with more than 22 countries in different areas. Like for vaccine development, we are collaborating with US and UK. For this bioenergy, we are collaborating with Netherlands and Denmark also. For aquaculture biotechnology, we are collaborating with Norway. For animal biotechnology, we are collaborating genomics, and in genomics, we are collaborating with UK. So we have large number of collaboration. At present, more than 22 international collaborations are being implemented. Besides countries, we are collaborating with NGOs and others. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is collaborating with DBT in large number of programs, including biofortification and toilet challenge. We have Newton Bhabha PhD placement programs that PhD scholars are being placed, where Indian PhD scholars are being placed in UK for 2 to 4 months for doing exclusive and any important research work for which facility are not available. DBT has also initiated Khurana program for scholars with the University of Wisconsin and Indo-US Science Forum for training program, and DBT Stanford program on foldscope, that is lowest cost microscope for schools, has been implemented with DBT sponsored program. As far as Autonomous Institute is concerned, the department has set up 16 theme-based Autonomous Institute and also supporting one international center, that is International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. National Institute of Immunology was the first institute, actually basically set up when NBTB was there, National Biotechnology Development Board was there, but it became the first Autonomous Institute of DBT. And at present, we have 16 autonomous institute. All are theme-based institute, for a specific purpose. Like NII is for immunology, NCCS is for cell and molecular biology, NBRC for neuroscience, CDFD DNA profiling, diagnostic and genetic disorder, NIPGR for crop plants, ILS basic and translational research in biological sciences. We have IBSD at Imphal, this bioresource utilization of that particular area. RGCB for translational research in human, animal, and plant sciences. InSTEM for STEM technology. Translational THSTI for basically for evolution of technologies for public health. NAVI in Mohali for food sciences, and NIBMG for gene-based health and disease through genomics. So these are our institutions, and one international center DBT is supporting, that is ICGB. We have also public sector undertakings. We have 3 public sector undertakings, that is BIPCOL, that is at present is formulating oral polio vaccine, zinc tablets, and some other small minerals for child health care, etc. IPCOL was basically established in 1989 for vaccine production, and right now that DBT is trying to revive this IPCOL with the help of IPCL or Reliance let us see that right now no work is being conducted at IPCOL. BIRAC, this is one of the interface agency. Basically, this agency was established by our late Secretary Dr. M.K. Bhan. This is his brainchild, and the BIRAC has actually strengthened and empowered the emerging biotech enterprises in the country. Large number of projects are being supported by the BIRAC. I will briefly tell about BIRAC also, and I have already spoken about ICGB. The Department of Biotechnology is also trying to develop this NBRA, that is National Biotech Regulatory Authority, and taking all effort to push its long pending bill. The NBRA bill aims to establish technology in India to regulate research, import, transport, and use of organisms and product produced from modern biotechnology. The NBRA, if established, will be an autonomous, independent state agency to safeguard the health and safety of the people and to regulate the safe development and deployment of biotechnology product and processes in the country. In place, the authority will have overriding powers on matters related to development and deployment of biotechnology product processes in the country, and this will be a single window mechanism to clear the application of genetically modified engineered products and processes. But since the government of India has actually allocated a 10% budget for Northeastern region, the department has identified Northeastern region as one of the biodiversity hotspots. In order to give focused attention for the region, the department is spending % budget every year for promoting and strengthening biotechnology programs and activities in this region. And initially, what DBT, that there was that lack of competency in northeastern region, particularly to implement the R&D project. We initiated training program where a partner from mainland was also included in the project. Still 25 to mainland. This program has now been discontinued because that now sufficient expertise has been developed in northeastern region. Similarly, there are programs which are actually duplicate, which I have already described various programs, that is Bioinformatics Network Program, Biotech Hubs, Biotech Infrastructure Facilities, Master's Program, the Star College Program, Overseas and National Associate Fellowship. Everything is like that in what we are doing. It is a mini programs of BT which has been initiated and implemented at Northeastern region. So this was up to this stage. I told about various activities of the Department of Biotechnology. Since I was asked to speak about BIRAC, although I was not involved directly with the BIRAC, but I would also like to now speak about various programs of BIRAC. So BIRAC, as I told you, it was a brainchild of Dr. M.K. Bhan, late Dr. M.K. Bhan, and it was initiated in 2000. Basically, it was initiated late, but initially the programs of BIRAC, like SIBRI program, was initiated early. BIRAC is a not-for-profit Section 8 public sector enterprises set up by the Department of Biotechnology, and this interface agency to strengthen and empower the emerging biotech enterprises to undertake strategic research and innovation, addressing the national needs. Basically, BIRAC was established to stimulate, foster, and enhance strategic research and innovation capabilities of the Indian biotech industry, particularly startups, for creation of affordable products, addressing the need of the largest section of the society. So as I told you, BIRAC is an industry academia interface and implements its mandate through a wide range of impact initiatives, be it providing access to the risk capital through targeted funding, whether it is technology transfer or IP management, and handling schemes that help innovation excellence to the biotech firms and make them globally competitive. In its 9 years of existence, BIRAC has initiated several schemes, networks, and platforms that help to bridge the existing gap in the industry and academia innovation research and facilitate high quality, affordable product development through cutting edge technologies. So there are 8 major programs of BIRAC, that is incubation, ideation of early stage, ideation of late stage, translational research, social innovation, equity funding, strategic research funding, and product commercialization program fund. As far as incubation is concerned, the major program under this BioNest, that is Bio Incubator Nurturing Entrepreneurship Scaling Technologies. The BioNest was launched with a vision that focused on fostering the biotech innovation ecosystem in the country. Unlike a startup in IT sector, enterprising ideas in the biotech sector need incubation support of a different kind. They need a landing space to test their ideas, to run their operations, and have access to high-end instrumentation facilities and locate in a place where they connect with other startups as well as academia. Through BioNest, BIRAC has supported more than 50 bio incubators in the country, covering a cumulative area of more than 6 lakh square feet for budding entrepreneurs. So basically, the BioNest provides incubation space to startups and entrepreneurs, connects industry and academia to facilitate technical and business mentorship, provide enabling services and required mentorship for IP and technology management, legal and contact resource mobilization and networking platform, and establishes an efficient governing model. So next program under incubation is BIG, that is Biotechnology Incubation Ignition Grant. This scheme basically to foster generation of ideas with commercialization potential and upscale the validation of proof of concept. The scheme also encourages researchers to take technology closer to the market and stimulate enterprise formation. So you can see here the impact of big BioNest. The department has received more than, BIRAC has received more than 6,000 proposals. Of those 6,000, 500 plus have been supported. 125 new startups have been set up. 50 products have been developed. 75 startups got follow-up funding. 120 IPs were filed, and 5 networking big in conclaves were conducted. Total amount of rupees 250 lakhs, 50 crores have been committed for this ignition grant. So another scheme that is Sitare, that is Student Innovation for Advancement of Research Exploration. So Sitare scheme has Sitare Sitare scheme has basically two major programs. One is Sitare Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Award, that is Sitare Gati, and another is Sitare Appreciation Grant. Gati encourages postgraduate and doctoral students to undertake projects with commercial potential leading to creation of biotech startups. Any Indian students who is doing PhD or master's program in any area related to biological sciences or biotech can apply for this year. Technology supporting 15 students who are 15 lakh rupees each for conducting research in that particular area. Sitare Appreciation Grant, this is for residential workshop called as Biotech Innovation Ignition School for undergraduate students, and 3 to 4 weeks training program is being conducted in this scheme. Out of this, 10 students are selected every year for the support grant of rupees 1 lakh to encourage them to conduct the research in that particular area of their choice. The recipient of this Sitare Appreciation Grant are known as BIRAC Sitare Appreciation Beneficiaries. Every year, BIRAC conducts 3 workshops and select 30 students for this Sitare Appreciation Grant. Next scheme for students is empowering youth for undertaking value-added innovative translation research. That is EUA. EUA scheme aims to promote culture of applied research and need-oriented entrepreneurship innovation among young and researchers. The scheme is implemented through EUA centers to inculcate entrepreneurship culture through fellowship, pre-incubation, and mentoring support. BIRAC Innovation Fellows is meant for postgraduate students as well as PhD students, and BIRAC EUA Fellows meant for undergraduate students. The Department of Biotechnology is providing them fellowship for postgraduate. For PhD fellows, BIRAC is providing 50,000 rupees per month fellowship plus a contingency grant of 5 lakh per year. And for postgraduate fellowship, BIRAC is giving them 30,000 rupees and contingency grant of 2 lakh rupees. The third major of BIRAC is ideation of late stage, that is Biotechnology Industrial Partnership Program, that is BIP. BIPP is a government partnership with the industries to support on cost sharing basis. So industry and government both share the cost of path breaking research in frontier futuristic technology, having major economic potential and making Indian industries globally competitive. BIPP supports the development of appropriate technologies in the context of recognized national priorities. And at present, 7 broad themes have been identified for the support under BIPP. That is drugs, including drug delivery, vaccine and clinical trials, biosimilars and stem cells, devices and diagnostics, agriculture, industrial biotechnology, including secondary agriculture and bioinformatics and facilities. So BIPP has been categorized in 4 categories: Category 1 to Category 4. The Category 1 areas with major social relevance but uncertain market driven demand. Category 2 discovery and innovation. Category 3A evaluation. Category 3 both A and B evaluation validation of already existing products of high national importance, promoting local innovation in clinical trials as well as in agriculture field trials. And Category 4 is shared cost facilities critical for enabling innovation. So these 4 categories have been provided for BIPP. So what is the impact of BIPP? As on 31st March 2020, that under this program, a total 200 projects were supported and total fund disbursed was around 523 crores. 52 technologies or products were developed and 9 facilities have been developed under BIPP and 31 IP was generated. So you can say that within a short period of time, this is a good achievement of BIRAC. This small SIBRI program, this was started in 2005, well before establishing BIRAC. This was one of the major programs which was initiated by the department by Dr. M.K. Bhan. This was the first program where department initiated funding to the small entrepreneurs. So the SIBRI scheme of the department was launched in 2005 and to boost public-private partnership efforts in the country. SIBRI was first of its kind. Only 3-4 schemes all over the world are this kind of schemes are existing in the world, and this scheme basically early stage innovation focused through public-private partnership initiative in the area of biotechnology. As a unique institutional mechanism, SIBRI has consistently prioritized early stage funding of high-risk innovative research in small and medium companies led by innovators and science background, get them involved in development of products and processes which have high social relevance. The basic aim of SIBRI is to strengthen those existing private industrial units whose product development is based on in-house R&D innovation. This scheme encourages other small businesses to increase their R&D capabilities and capacity. Also to create opportunities for starting new technology-based, knowledge-based business by science entrepreneurs and to stimulate technological innovation in the country. So translational research is another important program of the BIRAC. Basically, biotechnology research and development in India is largely carried out by academicians, that is university or institutions, and very few industries are involved in R&D activities. By virtue of their strong infrastructure and technical capability, academic and research are mandated to research on variety of problems of national importance. Also, unlike research by academia and unlike industry, research by academia is not governed by commercial gains alone, thus allowing them to work on problems involving even high degree of risk. So this scheme has two components. One is academic innovation research and another is contact research scheme. In academic innovation research, basically this is to promote development of proof of concept for a process or product by academia with or without involvement of industry. And the total maximum fund given to develop a proof of concept should not exceed more than 50 lakhs. Next is contact research scheme. Its aim is, as its name indicates, its aim is to validate a process or prototype developed by the academia. Academia must have an established proof of concept as evident by scientific data ready for validation to the industry. And it can be done through contact research program. Funding in the form of grant provided to both academician and industry, while funding is provided to the academia for in-house research. Funds are provided to the industry partner for validation. So there is no ceiling for any limitation funding for this scheme. Whereas in academia innovation research, funding ceiling is 50 lakh rupees. Next major program under BIRAC is social innovation. So there are two major schemes being implemented under social innovation. One is Social Innovation Immersion Program, that is SIIP, and second is SPURS, that is Social Innovation Program for Products Affordable and Relevant to Societal Health. So SIIP is BIRAC Social Innovation Fellowship or Award Program aimed at creating a pool of biotech social innovators who can identify needs and gaps within the communities, and that can help to bridge the gaps either through an innovative product model or product development. Till date, 35 social innovators are mentored by SIIP. 10 SIIP fellows have received follow-on funding from either BIRAC or other funding agency. More than 70 novel solutions have been identified by and 12 prototypes developed against society's most pressing problems are being further improved. Societal Innovation Program for Products Affordable and Relevant to Societal Health Program. This is basically to promote development of innovative solutions to society's most societal problems. The program aims at promoting the development of innovative solutions to the society. The scheme tackles major social issues and offers new ideas of widespread changes. The scheme aims to invest in ideas and innovations that improve healthcare of all Indians and encourage affordable products development in the societal sector. So major objectives of SPURS are to identify and provide support to cutting-edge innovation towards affordable product development that can bring societal impact and address challenges for inclusive growth, and provide support in the form of impacting biotech product innovation that can be scaled up. Equity funding is another program of BIRAC that is supporting the entrepreneurs at different level. Under equity funding, BIRAC has three schemes. One is seed fund, that is Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Enterprises Development Fund. Another is LEAP fund, that is launching entrepreneur-driven affordable products funding, and third is accelerating entrepreneurs fund. So as far as LEAP fund is concerned, the basic idea of seed fund is concerned. That basic idea of seed fund is providing capital assistance to startups for new ideas, innovation, and technologies. LEAP funding is basically act as a catalyst in bringing technologies or product forward towards piloting commercialization and reducing their gestation to commercialization. And accelerating entrepreneurs fund is an equity fund exclusively for biotech startups. ACE daughter funds are SEBI registered private funds to invest equity in startups for providing the risk capital to undertake innovation, research, and product development. So actually, I am also not well versed about this entrepreneur funding scheme. The strategic research has been taken by the Department of Biotechnology, by the BIRAC, particularly in case of banana fortification. That one technology has been developed by Queensland University, Australia. That is for the that was basically for global health program to elevate vitamin A and iron deficiency in some of the countries. The BIRAC on behalf of the Government of India has taken this technology from Queensland University of Technology, and besides this vitamin A and iron deficiency, Queensland has also developed fusarium wilt resistance in banana and one banana bunchy top virus. So all these four technology have been taken by the BIRAC, and the technology has been transferred to 5 Indian partners, those who are producing these bananas. And these 5 Indian partners are National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute, Mohali, NRC Banana at Trichy, BARC at Trombay, TNU Coimbatore, and Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, Bangalore. Product Commercialization Program. This is known as PCP program. BIRAC has initiated Product Commercialization Program Fund. Under BIRAC Product Commercialization Program, basically to fulfill additional requirements for preparing the ground for market launch, test validation in targeted markets, and large-scale commercialization, which are not covered under existing program. And this program has been launched under Product Commercialization Program Fund of the BIRAC. This program needs this scheme. Once technology scheme can be implemented only once the technology or product successfully validated and is market ready. So this was the last program of BIRAC, and I think I could summarize some of the major programs of the BIRAC also. So with this, I thank all the IIT and other participants who are here. I able to answer all questions related to the biotechnology. However, there may be some problems in BIRAC because I'm not well versed about the various programs of BIRAC, but I will try, and if not, then I will come back with all the answers from the BIRAC. So thank you very much. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.